Welcome back to another episode of Screen Coven. There is so much detail in the New Testament series, it can be really hard to track every little thing. So, what I wanted to do today is point out a few of the really cool details you might have missed. And this can be everything from fun Easter eggs to possibly hinting at future character storylines. In the first episode, in the very first scene, it's quiet, but if you listen closely, we're introduced to Radio Free Boston. There are several different people speaking over a radio channel, and one of them is June. And she says, "We're fighting for you. And for anyone still inside, keep your head down and stay safe." This is Radio Free America, forever the sound of freedom. Both The Handmaid's Tale and The Testaments share a significant detail about their opening. At the beginning of The Handmaid's Tale, the first time we're seeing June in present time, she's in her bedroom at the Waterfords house, and she's introducing us to her world there. Similarly, in The Testaments, the show opens with Agnes in her bedroom, showing us what a typical morning as a high commander's daughter in Gilead looks like. In Agnes's bedroom, she has stencils of trees on her walls. And this is significant because Agnes, or of course Hannah, was taken by armed Gilead forces in the forest. I'm getting a little dark with this one. In the first episode, Shunammite compliments Agnes on her hair, and Agnes replies, "Thanks, new Martha." Well, on the bus ride to school that morning, Agnes peeked out the window and we saw a Martha hanging. Was that supposed to be her old one? In the first episode, the girls are embroidering flowers, and Aunt Este comes up to Hulda, and she compliments her on her daisies. And Hulda specifically says, "These are not daisies, they're black-eyed Susans." Black-eyed Susan flowers are known for encouragement and strength, justice and fairness. It's been known to help people thrive in tough conditions, overcome difficult challenges, and be a symbol of resistance. Could this be a sign that Hulda is a part of Mayday? I have another video out that's titled Everything We Know About Mayday So Far. If you're interested in hearing more about my thoughts on this, check that out. In the scene where one of the guardians is having his arm sawed off and the girls are cheering it on, if you look closely, the man appears to be looking up at the girls. And who is he looking at? Well, I think it's Aunt Vidala. And if you look at her, it's very quick, but she looks devastated. What's the story behind them? Could they be lovers? I don't trust Aunt Vidala. And if you've read the Testaments novel, you'll know that it's for good reason. Even though the character in the TV show is written very differently, she's definitely not following the same storyline. But I'm still not going to sit here and think that she's a good person. Here are two more things we could point out. When the bus was attacked, Garth mentioned that it was a rescue mission, and the girls weren't supposed to get hurt. So, okay, they were trying to rescue someone off the bus? Who could that have been? Obviously, if Aunt Vidala was having a romantic relationship with a guardian, she would be in serious trouble with the eyes. And I could easily see her wanting to make a deal with Mayday to get herself out. And if you guys watched after the credits of episode 3, we got a short trailer for some of the things that are coming up in the season. And one of the things that it looks like we see is Aunt Vidala having Aunt Gabbana escorted out. And she looks kind of happy about it. Is she trying to set someone else up for her own crimes? After Daisy finds out that her parents, Neil and Melanie, were killed, she's at the hospital. And someone who says they're a social worker comes in, but June makes it clear when she finally gets there that that guy was not a social worker. He tries to give her tea and then says that he's going to check her out and they'll go somewhere else to talk. Was he going to drug her? Where was he going to take her? Was it back to Gilead? And if so, where exactly? In episode 4, when Daisy is speaking with Commander Mackenzie, she tells him that Agnes has set such a pious example. And I couldn't help but notice that we've heard this word a couple other times in the Handmaid's Tale series. At the beginning of the Handmaid's Tale, June is talking about Emily, and she calls her a pious little shit. And then we hear her and Emily say this again later on in the series. So it made me wonder, could this somehow be a connection to our beloved Emily? We know she never stopped fighting with Mayday. Maybe somehow she also trained Daisy, in addition to June. I really hope so. I would love to see her come up again on the show. The second time we hear Radio Free Boston, This time the voice is done by Stephen Colbert. Will this be his only appearance? When the girls are getting excited looking over Agnes's bounty that all of her commander suitors have sent her, there are a couple things that stand out here. One, Shunammite mentions that when Penny was a green, she got a lot of guavas and lychees. And then Hulda pulls out an artichoke and mentions that these are hard to find nowadays too. Could this be an indication that Mayday has successfully taken back more US territory? And now Gilead doesn't have the same abundance of resources that it did before. Thank you for watching. These are just some of the cool details that I've noticed while watching the first few episodes of the Testaments over and over and over again. Let me know. Did you notice anything cool too? I would imagine with 6 more episodes to go, there will definitely be more details and a part 2 will be needed. So please, if you enjoyed this, like my video and subscribe to my channel so that you're notified when they come out. As I mentioned, I have another video that I also just put out that's a deep dive into everything we know about Mayday so far in the Testaments, as well as several more Testaments-focused videos, and even a Handmaid's Tale final season recap. Plenty more Testaments videos are to come. I hope you've enjoyed them so far. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and remember, the Coven is always watching.